the first day of training. So the first day of training, and this is the maximum, the extreme position to which the legs can be stretched. On the first day, let's say the starting position is like this. So this is the first day. This is the maximum he is capable of. So he reaches this extreme position. For now, his legs can't spread any further, and in this position he either just stays. He felt the tension right here on the inner surface of his thigh. It tightened there, and he waits for this tension to decrease, and that will give him the opportunity to spread his legs a little more. So that's how he sits, and after that, bam, his legs spread even wider. So in this position, he stopped feeling the tension and his legs went wider. And then again, the tension appeared here and it doesn't let him go any further.
Again, it doesn't let his legs spread apart.
Hi guys. The doctor recommended me a great blood pressure monitor. Easy to use at home, accurate and reliable.
Next, in this position he's in, he's also sitting. He can move a little, rock back and forth. After some time, this also gives him the opportunity to spread his legs even more here. In the end, his legs spread even wider. So, for example, his legs ended up here in this position and became a little shorter there. And let's say his training for the day is finished. Now he has gained this range of motion. Here's the starting position and here's the ending position. So he was able to increase his range of motion.
Here is the hip joint of the leg. The hip joint, this is where everything was moving this much, and now he has this range of motion. The next day the training continues. So little by little he develops mobility and finally he achieves what he wanted. So here he is. He becomes able to spread his legs very well. One leg relative to the other. So he achieved his goal. He feels that in this way he gained an advantage, let's say 50 points to his health. So between this position and this one, that's a plus. All right? Well, if it's exactly plus 45 to health, plus 45 to health, he added. Now there's a bit of a health reserve. So, what do we get next? Well, sort of. All right, I won't hide it. His name is Albert. So, Albert, okay, I'm telling you about a real case now. Took this course. Kind of a challenge on Instagram. He did the splits in 45 days. As a result, he developed this good flexibility. All this happened, well, in February during winter, and after February came March, and after March, April. And in April, as usual, the thaw began, and the thaw in April sometimes happens together with frosts. It kind of alternates. So that's how it is. And this melted snow started to get covered with a layer of ice. The layer of ice, au tableau de bois. You know, when water freezes, ice forms there. And so Albert was walking down the street. One time, it was right in April. The most dangerous time for those who like to stretch. I was walking down the street. And so it just happened that there was a patch like this covered with ice on his way, right here. And when he stepped on it, right here, his foot stepped right here on the ice skid. On the ice, the resistance, whether it's less or more, it's hard to say right away. Well, I mean, ice is more slippery than a regular floor, right here. When he was walking on the ground wasn't as slippery as the ice, and the ice is more slippery. And that's why his foot was positioned in this direction. He stepped like this, and in the same direction, it slid. Checklist. Identify repetitive phrases. Simplify descriptions while keeping details. Maintain perspective and sequence. Preserve proper names. Shortened by up to 20%. It slid on the ice hook to the side and started moving away. Albert is watching as it goes in this direction, leaving, and he follows it with his eyes. It's getting farther and farther from him, and he can't stop it as it keeps moving away. Well, and he himself also falls like this. He shouts, and he falls. His leg slips away. He hears some kind of crunching sound. Albert thinks, what was that crunch? And the muscle here was torn a little bit. The ligament here was torn. But it's good that the leg wasn't broken. The ankle right here, sometimes it breaks too. The ankle right here. But in this case, it was just a twisted ankle. But it could have been a fracture. So, why did this happen? Passersby ask him. They look at him. He's lying on the floor. And they ask, why did this happen? Albert, how come? We know that you took that 45-day course. You added 45 points to your health. And so, as they say, with your heroic health, why are you lying here like this, writhing and screaming in pain? So they gathered around him and asked, what's going on? We don't understand. Explain it to us. And he says to us, now I understand. Now I realize that with these exercises, I stretched myself like when I was pulling like this, right? As a result, I created a range of motion I can't control. I can stretch, I can sit on the floor. I can spread my legs out like a noodle. They're right here, but I can't move them in this position. He says, I created this range of motion for myself, right here. I got this range of motion right here. So, I have this kind of range of motion now. Now, my leg can move out this way compared to the other leg. Look how far I can spread it. But I can't control my leg in this position. So, when it moves out here, I can't do anything with it. It's just hanging there on its own. He says he regrets this. They said, oh, now we understand, and continue their business. But since then, Albert started to wonder if he did the right thing, if he was stretching correctly. Is it really necessary to add this extra, uncontrolled range of motion? And he realized that there is a danger with these exercises, that when you you stretch the muscle like this, but why does it stretch? That's why he started doing the exercises he started spreading his legs to the side, but they wouldn't move apart because the muscle here, it tensed up. It tensed up and it doesn't let his leg move any further because the muscle it tells him, if you move your leg over there, what's going to hold it there? Right now, we're holding it with my partner, so to speak. Here, I'm the adductor muscle, and my partner is the gluteus medius muscle. Well, not just that one, but it's also involved. So right now, the two of us are kind of controlling your leg. But if you move your leg even further, you'll tire me out. She can't try any harder here. So what will hold your leg now? And he kind of responds to them. Of course, she doesn't say this to him. It's more like she tries through her own tension to make him understand that this is going to happen. And he kind of says, it's okay, it's better this way. But the way he wanted
No, that's not necessary.
He keeps tiring out this muscle, tiring it out, tiring it out. The very position when he stretches the muscle is actually the fatigue of this reflex. That is, the reflex kicks in and doesn't let you make the movement where the leg is going and where most of the muscles aren't being controlled. But a person who is persistent and determined can still tire out this reflex. That is, the muscle gets tired in this stretched state and allows the leg to go further. And he gets this extra range of motion, so to speak, which is not controlled by anything. And in this position, it's very easy to get injured because in this position, the leg arm, head and neck become very weak. So, what's the conclusion?
The question arises.
The answer might be like this. If you want to create some additional range of motion for yourself, right? Then you need to be able to use it. You need to be able to use this new range of motion. So if you want to do a split, you shouldn't just swing your leg passively so it flies up to that height and falls back down. You can't hold it there. However much range of motion you want to add, das nosto mudvi etsa, that's how much your leg, your arm, whatever you want to stretch, should be able to move in that range. You should be able to hold that position there. You should be able to change that position there. And at the same time, you should feel pretty comfortable. That's why the indicator of how one leg is compared to the other, let's say a leg, but it could be anything. This applies to bending forward as well. So this distance, how far one leg moves away from the other, and at the same time, you don't feel any tension in these muscles. This is an indicator of how well the muscles that perform this movement are working. So this is not an indicator of this muscle, it doesn't stretch. This muscle relaxes at the moment when this one contracts. So a muscle has a certain length. You think of a muscle like a rubber band that you need to stretch and stretch, and it will get longer. But a rubber band won't actually get longer. So it turns out situations like this come up in our everyday life and can catch us at every step. Be careful. And now you don't just be surprised by this story. You should take this principle. If, for example, you want to stretch something, right? If you like stretching and all that, you should try to use it in other situations, not just with this exercise. You can think about how, for example, you can apply it to other types of stretching, right?